1. Okay, so writing trinomials in vertex form using completing the square formula. Now, like I just told you guys just a second ago, I am going to show you the formula. If the algebra tiles were making sense, then keep using the algebra tiles. I just want to show you this because I know some people using algebra tiles is just redundant and takes too much time. So I'm going to do the same problem. So if I have x squared plus 8x plus 4. So if I have that equation, and I'm going to go ahead and show you the algebra tiles one more time. So I have x squared. I need 8 x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now, why did I put 4 on the right and 4 on the bottom? So that it's 8. I split it up so that it would make a square, because a square has the same dimensions on the left as it does on the right. So I had to split it up. And then if I have plus 4, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. How many tiles am I missing right here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm missing 12. So when you did this equation yesterday, you had x plus 4 times x plus 4 squared. And then I was missing 12 tiles, so we wrote it as minus 12. Do you agree? So that's how we wrote it. Now, the way I'm going to show you in the formula you can use, if you have this equation right here, you're going to take x. We always have x because x times x makes x squared. Now, remember, if you use the box, and this is just a reminder, when we have this box, I have x squared here. Then I have 8x came from those two. Now, if it's a square or completing the square, I need to cut this in half. So 8 divided by 2 is 4, so it'd be 4x and 4x. Does everybody agree with that? So it'd be x times x, 4 times x makes 4x, and 4 times x makes 4x. Now the reason we call it completing the square is because you want, or in vertex form, you always have the parentheses squared. You have the same thing times itself. Now, what number goes here? What number goes there? What's 4 times 4? 16. So if you look at that, the 4 times 4 is 16, right? So right up here, what goes inside of the parentheses? What goes inside of this parentheses? What did we say? X plus 4. Now, where does that 4 come from in relation to this 8? If we're just trying to write the formula, how would I get that 4? 8 divided by 2. So this 4 right here comes from the 8 divided by 2. 8 divided by 2 is 4, right? Now, when you have a trinomial, we always call the numbers in front of x squared a, the numbers in front of x b, and the numbers in front at the very end are c. So in the formula in just a second, I'm going to say b divided by 2. That's just saying whatever that middle term is, whatever the number is, divide it by 2. So it was x plus 4, because I had to cut it in half, so it was 4 times 4, or 4 plus 4. Okay, now, where did this negative 12 come from? from the little ones, right? I was missing 12. Now, do you see how I put the 16 right here? 4 minus 16 is what? Negative 12. So what you're going to do to find that last spot, or to find what's adding or subtracting here, you're going to say C minus that number right there. C minus 16, or 4 minus 16 is what? Negative 12. Do you see why I say the algebra tiles makes more sense for most people? Because you have to think about where all the numbers are coming from, where all the numbers go. Usually the easiest part for everyone to figure out is this part. You can easily see what is this number divided by 2. But the hard part comes from where you have this C value of a plus 4. You have to take 4 and subtract 16, which is negative 12. So that was the first example we did. But I'm going to go ahead and write the formula out. So here's our formula. I just wanted to show you where it all came from. So you're going to always have your parentheses. X plus b divided by 2 squared and then for here you subtract this number from C. Oh, except for I wrote that wrong. Subtract. It has to be b divided by 2 squared. So if you have, up here, it was 4 times 4 is 16, and that's what you subtracted. Sorry. So it should say subtract b divided by 2 squared from C. Let me go ahead and use my whiteout. Okay, sorry. So it's going to be subtract b divided by 2 squared from C. So you have to always remember to square it. So it was 4 times 4 is 4 times 4 is 16, or 4 squared is 16. So that's why I think that the algebra tiles are usually easier, especially for those of you that are very much visual. So let me go ahead and write where all of these numbers come from. So it would be x squared plus bx plus c. So when it talks about b, it's talking about the number with x. When it talks about c, it's talking about the number out here. So that's the formula. So you can decide if it's easier or not. I'm going to do another one without even touching the algebra tiles this time. So if we have x squared plus 4x plus 10. Okay. So again, let's use the formula. So it's going to be x. X is always there because x times x makes x squared. Now, you need to cut this in half. So what's b divided by 2 or 4 divided by 2? 4 divided by 2 is 2. So it's positive. So x plus 2 squared Okay, now it says subtract b divided by 2 squared from c. So what is this number squared? What's 2 times 2? 4. So let's do 2 times 2, or 2 squared is 4, so it'd be 10 minus 4. What's 10 minus 4? 6. So it would be plus 6. Now look at your notes from yesterday. Is that the same equation we wrote yesterday? So if you look, and I'll show you, of course it doesn't have the algebra tiles anymore, but that's the problem I did yesterday, example 2. Notice it's the same exact thing, x plus 2 squared plus 6. So you make the decision if you prefer algebra tiles or if you prefer just using the formula. With this though, and I know I just told you guys they're in here right now, you will have algebra tiles available to you for the unit test. I don't know about the EOC though. When we take the EOC, I don't know if we'll have algebra tiles. Okay, let's do the last one using negatives just so that you can see an example with negatives. So if I have x squared minus 2x minus 8. Okay, again, you have parentheses with x. Take b and divide by 2. What's negative 2 divided by 2? Negative 1. So it would be negative 1 squared. How do I find this last piece? So you have to square it and then subtract it from that. So if I look at this, and this is why I wanted to show another negative 1. So if I have negative 1 times negative 1, what's a negative times a negative? Positive. Oh. So it'd be positive 1. Now it says to subtract that from it, so it'd be negative 1. What's negative 8 minus 1? Negative 9. So it'd be minus 9. That's the same exact equation you wrote as example 3 yesterday in your notes. So it's up to you. You just have to remember to divide by 2 to find this one, square that number and subtract it from the other number. Okay? So that's the 3 examples. Now you can get out the worksheet from yesterday and finish it. Of course, I will help you with whatever you need help with.